tapping with rep. Niggas elite, this the last sermon. Preacher gon' preach, soaking the woe.
If your expenses exceed your income, then
you still broke.
You losing money, and then
I know a lot of people who make six figures that's paycheck to paycheck.
Because it's a mentality thing, so that's why that was, to me, I feel like that's one of the most important things. Is like kind of like getting those urges or getting those things out the way, or to develop that mentality, because it's really about learning how to make your money work for you instead of you just constantly chasing it. You gotta attract it.
The hustle mentality. Yeah. A lot of people, and that's where that 1.8 trillion. A lot of people know how to get. People think that because a lot of zip codes in Rochester are considered low income. But people is getting to a bag, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's people getting to a bag. I'll go through the budget, like, you make $7,000 and you live weird? Like, why do you live over there? But they got a nice car with a high interest rate. They kids getting every pair of Jordans, but you don't got $200 in the bank.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of that 1.8 is spent on, like, how do you call it? Like, replaceable goods. Like, just because a new thing came out. Just because new sneakers came out, we're getting some more. New phone. You don't, again, and it's like wants and needs. It's like, so you need a phone. You don't have to buy a $2,000 phone. Or you don't have to buy a $30,000 or $50,000 car. You can go grab you a little 10, a little 20, a little 2,000. You know what I mean? Like you said, it just depends on where you are and where you're trying to go, and those sacrifices that you feel like you got to make. So if you feel like you have to be in that Benz or that Audi or that whatever, then you're going to pay for that.
You're going to pay for it.
And especially if you don't have the tools or the education to say, you know what, let me defer all of this, and then I'll get it when it makes sense, and I don't have to pay that much for it, because the car is worth $50,000, but you done paid $150,000 because of the interest.
Yeah.
Like, let's go back to the China thing. How y'all feel about the knockoff clothes and all that coming out?
Entrepreneurship. I feel like we knew this already. Shaq told us years ago when he said, I'm selling my sneakers for $20-something or $50, whatever he sold his sneakers for, when he could have sold them for what Jordan sold his sneakers for.
Because he wanted
his shoes to be affordable.
Be affordable, and that's why he sold them.
So it's like the internet eliminated the middleman. Like, you can go direct to consumer with most product. If you making a product, you can go direct to consumer. You selling plays, advertise on Facebook, you direct to consumer. Like, the internet eliminated direct to consumer, so now you don't have to go through a lot of stuff to get you some clothes made. You can literally order something on a website, and the factory will call you. You can get the specifications made, and they'll send it right to you.
I don't know. I ain't wearing no fake Gucci bag though.
I was just about to ask that.
But this the 1.8 trillion though. You're paying for literally.
But I don't mind not having it. But if I'm gonna have it, I'm not gonna get the fake one. That's just me personally. That's just I would rather not have it than have the. So knockoff.
What's the difference? I'm saying
status. It's a status symbol.
It's the status symbol, because all I feel like, okay, if it's still
it's not even just a status symbol. So I do look at certain things as investments, and purses can be one, right? So
do they retain value? I know Rolexes do.
A Hermes purse retains more value than a Rolex. Okay,
now I'm learning.
So if I was to even like, I'm trying to think of a never full Louis Vuitton. It's like the starter purses of purses, right? You could buy one for $2,400.
That's the starter.
That's the starter. But hold on. Before COVID, you could buy it for $1,600.
Okay.
So now, if you got one that you bought a couple years ago, you probably could sell it as a used purse for $1,800. You made $200. You've been wearing this purse for 2 years. Or if Chanel bags hold value really well. Birkins hold value really well.
What is it that's holding the value? It's not the leather. It's the name, right?
It's the name. It is the name, right. But it's still an investment. Now, if you buy a knockoff, and granted, you may have saved $3,000, you ain't never going to be able to resell a knockoff purse.
Well, why do you need to resell it? You paid probably a couple $100 for it.
I just look at it as an investment. So if I'm going to spend...
That's just how your brand works.
I don't plan... it's nothing that I own that's a clothing item or a purse or anything that I'm going to wear forever, right? So, or sneakers. I not really into sneakers as much anymore, but I used to be. So... if I got a pair of sneakers and I know I could sell them, then I'm not going to just hold on to them for 30 years just to, like, at some point you're gonna get rid of stuff. So whatever people's vices is, I think
that's your vice. Just say that.
Just
say
no,
that's your vice.
They not really my. I wouldn't say it's my vice. Like, that's a Coach bag. But I just don't see me buying a knockoff. And this is how I look at, because I am a business, right? So people are so focused on, oh, it's the same exact material, but China didn't put in the marketing that Louis Vuitton put in. That building in New York City of Louis Vuitton that looks like a Louis Vuitton suitcase, crazy. That cost them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing no fashion shows in China for Louis Vuitton or for Chanel or for Birkin. They not, you know, one of the stores threw somebody a baby shower. They not doing those things in China. But and they don't have
That's
staff
insane.
in the stores. All of those people got to get paid. So yes, it may have cost the store, or even to just build a name. How much do you think Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, how much do you think they spend to get to that point?
Hundreds of millions, billions probably.
So
I think
that's where the markup comes from, but people don't think about business that way.
LVMH, I think that's Louis Vuitton, Moet and Hennessy. So that brand alone is like
they spend trillions of dollars to become that brand. They have all these people to employ and staff. That's really what you're paying for. People be like, "Oh my God, but the bag only cost $30." No, it didn't, because you wouldn't even want that bag if it wasn't for all the marketing behind it. If they wasn't doing all this stuff for celebrities to make you want it to be even interested in it.
But the flip side of that coin is,
if you only care about the quality,
right,
then buy the knockoff.
The flip side of that coin is, well, it costs $30 to make the bag, so they probably paid them people a significant. They probably paid 10 cents an hour, or I don't know, just $1 a day or something like that to get that made. Mm-hmm. And those people are like, well, we getting paid $1 to make this bag. It costs 30, and they're about to put 2 more zeros on it, maybe even 4 more zeros on it. By the time they get to wherever because some of them bags range from 3,000 to 30,000. Birkins go 40, 50,000. Mm-hmm. So we're making $1 we're getting $1 to make this bag. And
but you got to think about it in all reality. China set those prices.
The minimum wage over there.
Yeah, China set those prices. That has nothing to do with tariffs, with America, with any. Now they're giving us all the tea. But China told these companies, we're going to make this stuff for you for this amount. They decided they wanted to mark it up. That's just how business works.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think a lot of times because we are consumers, we are looking at things from a consumer standpoint and not from a business standpoint. Because let's be honest, nobody would want a Birkin if celebrities wasn't walking around with them.
Absolutely.
Nobody would want a Benz if it didn't have status symbols. Nobody would want a Rolex if it wasn't going to start certain conversations. So, yes, could you do them? And is there people who are celebrities that wear knockoffs? Absolutely.
A lot of them.
Or they get stuff that was given to them. It was free, and now we.
Or they rent it. They rent a lot of this stuff too.
We feel like we got to spend all this money so we could be like these people. I don't believe in doing that. I don't care how much money you got. I think it's ridiculous. We're not on TV.
Who needs to see you? Like, where are you going? That unless you're unless you practice a high level business and you, like you said, you're walking in a boardroom. Okay, then a Rolex might be appropriate for you because you're conducting business and it's a gentleman's watch or whatever. So it's like the rooms what rooms are you walking in that you need?
That it makes sense for you.
Yeah, that you need those things. But
I'm gonna give me a Rolex this year.
I'm looking.
But I'm gonna give me a $6,700 Rolex. I'm not gonna get a $40,000 Rolex. But I'm still gonna be a black girl with a Rolex. So it's still gonna be a conversation starter.
There you go. And I feel like I kind of feel like with the whole tariff thing, trying to kind of like pulling the curtain, it just kind of like, hopefully it kind of like pulled the veil down so we don't value these things as much. And because my thing is like this, we'll go spend all of this money on these bags, but there's somebody down the street right now that, you know what I'm saying, they're making some bag. Not saying that it's the same quality or whatever, but
I do think we shop local more.
Shop local,
black
more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's one of my things is like supporting our own to where you can build up just to be, because okay, cool, right? And like you said, nobody wants a lot of these bags until they see celebrities with it. But what celebrities are we really seeing making this stuff cool? Most of the times is us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We making Gucci cool. We're making this cool. We're making that.
And they
cool.
really don't want us in it.
don't want to send it at all.
Don't want to.
But they understand that we're gonna spend so much money on it. Is they'll be stupid to not market to us, like kind of like I'm a wave this in front. I know you can't afford it, but I'm gonna wave it in front of you so that I'm gonna make you want to go get it. So you're gonna go broke behind it, and you're gonna go get it.
But that's crazy because
Did
they
y'all
don't
hear the
even like
story?
us.
A Cadillac.
Wow. Cadillac, the car.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that, but I do know it was a status symbol.
So African Americans saved Cadillac back in I think the 60s. Reason being, we could not purchase a car brand new because dealerships wouldn't sell to us. So we had to buy a car from somebody who already owned a car, right? So Cadillac was about to go under. Like, they weren't making any money. They were about to file for bankruptcy. They decided, we're going to allow black people to come to us for either a loan or to purchase a car cash. Because black people had such a bad experience with banking at that time, we had cash at home.
Mm-hmm.
Under the mattress, we whatever we make it, we keep it. And back then, because of the way things were, we were a lot better at saving.
We had to, yeah. We
had to
like
because emergencies was crazy back then, right? So because of that, as soon as they announced it, a year later, Cadillac was the #1 car for like 5 years straight.
I believe.
And then everybody else decided to kind of follow suit.
I know we did that with Jordan. With Jordan saying Nike rather, because you know what I mean. And it's like we don't look at that like we
have so much power.
Don't even see it, and it's like the whole world sees it but us, and it's like we need to start cultivating those mindsets first, and then the practices